Hey, what is up? What's up, everybody? Facebook out there in the internets of the internet world. How y'all doing out there? This is Kevin, Shy Guy number one, over in the hub, over in the studio with my friend, my co-show host. Leif, Shy Guy number two. Yeah, we're on. I just figured out. No, you good, man. This is a relaxed environment. You know, we just wanted to come in and have a conversation. Everybody say hello to Leif. We just wanted to talk for a few minutes, have an open discussion about what are some ways to freedom. And I've been on this thread today just for a little bit in that. Today, when I got in to go do some things for the man, one of my associates, my co-worker, he was like, "You feel like grinding today, bro?" And I was like, "Well, not really. You know, it's one of those days where you're gonna have to get up, get out, and do something, regardless of whether it's for yourself or for somebody else." And today, I just didn't feel it. You know, no matter what you're doing, you're gonna have those ups and those downs. But today was definitely kind of a down day for him when he was just checking my status to see where I was. And it kind of got me on this thread, given that today's a holiday, looking at it being MLK Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebration of a man who was about freedom, and particularly with respect to all forms of freedom. But number one, or one of the points of freedom that he often talked about and focused on was economic freedom, which kind of sent me on that thread. Too. And then during the course of our conversation with my friend, you know, we were just talking. We were like, you know what? There's a million different ways to make money, to build wealth. There's a million different ways to forge a path to freedom. You just have to choose one, and you have to be consistent and determined, and you have to farm whatever particular endeavor you choose. Like a farmer, you have to grow it from seed to harvest. And a lot of times we have an issue when it comes to being consistent, persistent, and growing something, growing a plot, looking at a particular endeavor and taking it from baby to maturity. That's where a lot of us get caught up at. So I just wanted to kind of take the time to kind of talk about that today and kind of put the question out to you. What are you doing, or as far as ways of getting freedom for yourself in whatever form, shape, or fashion in your life? It's just today, I just wanted to sit here with my man Leif and kind of discuss the wealth building aspect of freedom, given that I see when I'm out and about, I see and I notice, and just looking at some statistics, that a lot of people are doing things and expending life in areas and ways that they don't want to. You know, there's a lot of people that go to work and sit in that cubicle next to the guy or gal that you just don't really like, but you just there because you're there for a paycheck and you addicted to that paycheck. I'm addicted to that paycheck. So it just got me to thinking of all the things that I've done over the course of my life to kind of put different streams, revenues out there and kind of see which one comes to full fruition and gets a return on the investment. And my man here, Leif, he's doing the do. So I just wanted to kind of focus on this particular thing today, this particular subject and topic of economic freedom. What are some ways to freedom? Now, before we get off here, I'm going to talk about probably talk about 6 or so things that you can do, you can implement right now, as far as like bringing some extra cash into your bank, and as far that I've done and I've known other people to do and that I continue to do and show other people how to do, and that you can put cash in your pocket, maybe get some extra income to get that extra lunch or get that extra vacation or make that extra payment, or just start your way onto building wealth today. You got anything you want to say, Leif? Or you want me to keep going? Because I can't keep going.
Yeah, don't keep going. Stop talking. Let's see. We're talking about financial freedom, ways to freedom, MLK Day, ways to get free. And one of the many things that I think was dramatically overlooked during the during the civil rights era was definitely that of economic freedom.
Yes.
And actually, it wasn't quite overlooked. Actually, you know, I think that's one of the key things that led to King's assassination, especially when he started talking to the unions and things like that. It's one thing to talk about, you know, let the Negro come in and spend their money. It's another thing when you're talking about getting that economic dollar back into the circulation of the black community. So in terms of economic freedom, man, there's so many different ways to go about it. Definitely have multiple streams of income. I know Kevin's going to touch on those points, but you got to have multiple streams of income. And what that actually means is, it's like, okay, most people have a job. You need to have something outside of your job that generates revenue, that generates wealth, that you can bank on, because the job is not guaranteed. I know a lot of times it feels like you have job security. You feel like your job loves you. You feel like they're taking care of you and those kinds of things. But guess what? On the economic downturn, if you're not generating money, they cut you. So you have to think about ways to improve your income outside of just your work, right?
Right.
And Kevin will talk about that. And also you need to think about ways to increase your current income. So sometimes, you know, again, you have jobs and you have careers. And if you just have a job, then you're expendable. So you want to develop your skill set to where you can have a career. And what you need to think about is not focusing on being so quick about it. A lot of times we get in a rush because when you get so far behind, you want to rush to try to catch up and get ahead of the pace. But if you don't really take time out to develop your skill set, then you definitely will be putting yourself at a further disadvantage by not being able to take advantage of climbing the corporate ladder, so to speak. And there's different ways to do that. And it might not necessarily be in your current location.
Dang, man, now you're sending me down all kind of rabbit trails now. When you said developing your skill set, that's one of the things that you first and foremost have to do before you even start looking at tactics and tasks and different things that you can actually do. One of the things is that you have to do, that I have to do, is we have to start with cultivating our minds and developing the mindset, expanding our mindset and our perception so that we can fill that expansion, fill that space up with a new skill set, and then begin the task of pursuing and honing and learning and getting some knowledge in a particular skill set, getting some understanding in a particular skill set, and then practicing that particular skill set so you can that skill set will now have a return of investment in your life. And one of the ways, wherever you find yourself at, never count yourself out. Yesterday we talked about giving up before the clock runs out. Never give up before the clock runs out. There's always an opportunity of hope if there is still some milliseconds on the board. You never know what could happen. I think one of the other guys, Big Mar, said that everybody gets that miracle play. You know, everybody gets that miracle play. And actually the game, just going back to the game, it definitely looked like a miracle. It looked like angels in the backfield to me. I don't know. That's just
somebody puts that dude in the back.
Somebody does. To me, it just looked like angels in the backfield, stuff going on behind the scenes. But that's another show in and of itself. But just taking the time to develop your mind is very essential, and it's not that hard today, given a lot of the access and opportunity that's available to us, especially if you have a cell phone.
I got a question for you.
Yes,
Did
sir.
you define what freedom was?
Freedom. Well, freedom, I guess the simplest term is to do what you want to do when you feel like doing, as long as it's within the bounds of law and civility. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would even say freedom is just the ability to do what you want to do, period.
The freedom, the ability to do what you want to do, period. Freedom meaning that you have abundant time and abundant wealth or abundant cash reserves. I've ran into a lot of quote unquote rich people that wasn't rich in time and wasn't able to enjoy the fruits of their labor to the full extent. And then I've ran into a lot of people who had abundant time but didn't have money, called bums. You know, they had plenty of time, but they ain't got no money, you know. So I've ran into both extremes. And then the wealthy, they have an abundance of time to do what they want to do when they want to do it. And they also have an abundance of wealth which means they control not only money, but they control other resources too, like land, like other people, like precious metals, like having the ability to not only control it, but protect it as well. So, yeah, freedom is pretty much the ability to do what you want to do when you feel like it on your own terms. And we live in an era today where I see a lot of millennials who this is natural for them and it's like instinct. I run into a lot of millennials right now that are actually laptop rich. You'll see them in the corner cafe. You'll see them in the rented, collaborating office spaces around your city. You'll see them all over the place. They don't really have a set schedule, but in some way they figured out a way to develop, to carve out, to niche, to get their little path of quote unquote freedom. That it may not be full freedom in its full fruition that we would like it to be, but it's a smaller version in which if they stay cultivating it, it can expand. And this is one of the things I wanted to kind of expound on. So we talked about skill set, and that one simple way or example to either develop your skill set is either find somebody who is doing what you want to do and ask them how they did it and how they got to where they got. Now, you may not be the exact steps that they give you may not work for you, but what they can give you is a model to model yourself after, and that you can put a variation or put your own style to that will help you forge your way. I got a little story about that is at one of my previous jobs, I used to go to this millionaire's office. He looked like the stereotypical millionaire. He's kind of short, a little overweight, and every time he had a little deer head over in his office, one of those little wooden offices, and he looked like Fred Flintstone's boss. If y'all remember him, Fred Flintstone,
Mr. Rockney,
something like that. And every time I come in, this dude is sitting behind his desk with a big old cigar in his mouth, and he's got land and all this kind of stuff. So those people, they do exist, even though they may be stereotypical, but they do exist. They're out there. And I can remember asking him, does anybody ask you how you got here? He's like, nope, nobody asks me these kind of questions. Because anytime I come in contact with somebody of that nature, I would always probe them, see how they got to where they got. And he's like, my employees, they couldn't care less. They don't ask no questions. All they want to do is show up, do the job, and go home. So one of the things is you have to change your mindset and look for.
Yeah, and I even want to touch on that. We did an interview a while back. Lamar and I, we were doing, I forgot what, we do a lot of stuff a lot of times. And we were interviewing one of the guys that owned the company. I don't even want to say his name, but it was in the interview in his office in front of his employees. And we were asking him about how he got rich, what his path was. And we literally asked him that same question.
What? Really?
Yeah. Has anybody ever asked you, that work for you? He was like, no. He said, they just come in and work. And he's sitting in the middle of his own office talking about it. He was like, yeah. He said most people, he was literally describing his employees in front of his employees, and it went over their head.
Wow.
Yeah. So because he was excited by the fact that we took time out to talk to him about his path to success.
Yep.
And he's very successful. He has a lot of money, and nobody in his office took the time out to ask him those questions.
Yeah, and one of the things that I found is a lot of people in influential and powerful positions many of them are very open, and they're more than ready and willing to share, just because of the rare few that ask. And they're always the majority are always looking for opportunities to give back and to leave legacies, because if anything else, it adds to the ego, and that yes, these are people that I've helped in my life.
So I got a question: why don't people ask?
People don't ask because you get stuck oftentimes in the routine and grind of life. And life is designed I got a little talking board right here, and one of the key points I got is designed to grind. The world that we live in is designed so that we don't have time to think. I run into a lot of people that really don't have the time or capacity to just sit down and just think for any length and period of time about where they want to go, what they want to do, and how they want to get there. On the way out last night from the hub, from the studio, I noticed Big Mar was just sitting there staring at the wall. And I said, "What's wrong with you?" He said, "Nothing, just thinking." And what you'll find is that a lot of people, many people in influential positions of influence and management and power, oftentimes the stereotype is they're just sitting in the office doing nothing, right? You'll walk past the office and the boss man is just sitting there. The boss man is sitting there because he gets paid to think. The way he generates income is by thinking, his mind. And the way he generates income is by keeping you in line, keeping me in line. One of the things I found out when I was in management was that I would often get asked, "What are you doing? What's your job?" Well, my job is to supervise you,
Yeah, but one thing I think, because I asked you a question kind of facetiously, meaning why don't enough people ask? Why ask their bosses or ask the people that are in wealth how they got there is true, because a lot of people are intimidated.
Yes,
I found that a lot of people are intimidated to ask those questions because they think they're either stupid or it's like, I don't want to sound dumb or anything like that. But if you have the opportunity to talk to somebody that's in a position where you want to be,
just be done.
Yeah, ask the question.
Be done.
Ask the question, and like you said, they'll be more than happy to give you the answer, because most people don't ask. Just taking the simple step of, "Excuse me, how did you get this position?" I don't know. I know some people have seen the movie Pursuit of Happiness. And it's Will Smith, and he played Chris Gardner. He played the role of Chris Gardner, and Chris Gardner actually came to Lexington and he spoke in the Opera Theater. But one of the things he said is it's very famous. He saw a guy that had a Ferrari and all of this, and he literally asked him one simple question: "How did you get that?" And that changed the trajectory of his whole life, because he was just willing. His interest was piqued enough. He's like, "Man, how did you do that?" And he gave him the formula. He was like, "This is what I did to get here." He's like, "Okay, thank you." And from that point on, he had a goal and he had a focus. And so he had a target that he can now hit. But if we don't ask those questions, we don't know what the target is, and we don't know how to hit it. So don't be intimidated by anybody. If they're in a position where you want to be, or if they know the path to get you to where you need to go, ask those questions.
Ask the questions. Don't be afraid. There's been many points in my life to where, the pain gets so hard, the pain gets so rough that I'm humbled. I'm in enough pain to humble myself and just ask a dumb question. If you don't know, you don't know. And many of us, I don't know. So I'm going to ask as many questions as I can get away with, even to the point of irritation sometimes.
Yeah,
so,
and even with that, we miss the opportunity of mentorship. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of times we talk about being mentors and mentorship. We think it means an adult talking to a kid and showing a kid how to get it. That's part of it. But however, as adults, we need mentors as well. Because a lot of us, I know for myself, we don't necessarily have those examples within our family. Well, I can't say that I didn't, because my grandfather, I used to talk to him all the time. He owned his own business. He owned his own construction company. He had been doing it for as long as I've been living. And so I used to talk to him all the time about business, about decisions, how he's doing things. And that would be my whole conversation with my grandfather. And a lot of people have these same opportunities, but they don't see it. So if you see somebody, again, I know we're reiterating these things, but if you know somebody or see somebody that's in a position where you would like to be, take the time out, approach them, ask them questions, ask them if they would even be willing to mentor you. Chances are they'll give you some tasks to accomplish. I know we had tasks, and when we ask somebody to do certain things, they want us like, okay, you need to go execute A, B, C, because they do that to make sure that you're serious so you don't waste their time. So once you get resolute about what you want to do, how you want to go about doing it, make sure you ask the person, and not only in person, not only the fact that I can reach out to Kevin, but the internet. I was literally just telling my wife, there's a guy, I followed his art when I was in high school. I followed his art, and the fact that we have the internet, I'm able to reach out to him. I communicate with him probably 3 or 4 times a month, right? I don't communicate with him weekly because I'm busy. I got stuff to do. But he does too. But the fact that we're now friends,
That's amazing.
The fact that I've never met this person in live to where I can touch them, but we're friends and we can communicate. I can ask questions and he gives me answers. Even it was an animator I used to follow, and it was like I reached out to him. Now we're friends. So you all have this opportunity, especially with the advent of the internet. The connections are open right now. Ask the questions that you need answered. If you truly need it, if you truly desire it, I guarantee you'll be able to find the answer.
Man, and I got a similar story too. A couple of years back, I made a decision to start blogging or vlogging.
Yep.
And there was a particular guy that I would communicate with on his website. Well, actually, I heard this guy on the radio, and I heard where he had a website. So I started frequenting his website, started making comments, and over time, we just started personally communicating to the point of making a few Skype calls, him asking me, to blog with him and blog on his site. And his site gets a lot of views, but it just shows you the power when you decide to do something that you naturally attract. More success and more things going to help you along your journey, and you'll notice that things will just start lining up for you for your success once you make the decision to do it. So before we even go even a little further, I just wanted to make sure that we reiterate this point: is that don't be afraid if you have any thoughts or inclination of wanting to do more than where you're at now. Just know that the access is there, the availability is there, and even if you just make sure that you stay just watching us, me and Leif, and just consuming some of the content materials that we start to put together and put out, just start using those as springboards in your life. And kind of follow us, follow Leif as we go, as we do and pursue some things.
Yep.
I'm just talking about me, particular at this particular point in time, in that my life is an open book, and I'm pretty transparent about a lot of things. So hopefully, what you'll see happen over the next year, which is one of my personal goals, is that you see the actual transformation process take place. And we're in January right now.
Yep.
One of my goals has been to make sure that I blog, or at least talk or live stream on a continual daily basis, which I've been able to uphold. Last year, one of the things that I personally, a couple of years back actually, was just to pick any platform and stay consistent as far as doing one thing on that platform. And just for example, real quickly, one of them for me was Instagram. And I saw my Instagram account go from maybe 100 followers to up to a couple thousand, 6,000 followers over a period of time. And there's some ways and tactics and strategies that I learned along the way to help me do that. But it's just one little small, thing.
And if you have questions, please ask. If you have questions, make sure that you ask.
Please.
We would love to answer those questions, because that's really what makes what we're doing worthwhile, especially for you. We can ask your questions specifically, potentially even bring you on the show to talk about those kinds of things.
Yep.
And even as Kevin was talking, like, I used to harass him all the time. I still do. I used to harass Kevin on a daily basis. Behind the scenes, I'd be like, man, what are you doing? Are you getting on it? Are you posting? Are you supposed to do what you're supposed to do? Because I made sure I held him accountable, right? And he would do the same thing for me. Like, I was doing fitness last year. I need to get back on. I need to set that goal and put it in stone. My wife's been making me banana pudding, and I love it. And I've been eating it and getting fat.
Banana pudding.
Yeah. So I'm gonna quit getting fat. After this week, I'm no longer getting fat. I'm gonna start exercising and working out the way I should be.
This dude's like $150. He's talking about fat.
Nah, I wish I was $150. I'd be in fighting shape then. But anyway, just those kinds of things, and we want to make sure that we make the pathways clear. Mm-hmm. I know we reiterate points over and over because we want to drive it home. And also just today, just thinking about MLK Day and those kinds of things. Oh yeah, you weren't supposed to be hearing this, Sean. Yeah, no, you don't eat the rest. I said after today. Which
after
means I get to go home
today,
and eat some more.
Which means that you might as well just pass it on my way because he don't need it.
Kevin's not worried. He's off the line. But anyway, like today being MLK Day, one of the things I had really been concentrating on, and even we're talking about pathways to freedom, right?
Yep.
We know that the civil rights movement was all about freedom and opportunity and access and those kinds of things. One of the things that is required for you to get free is to be truthful. We talk about this a lot, and even in our society, right? We have to really address the truths behind the policies and the things that are put in place to keep people behind. A lot of times at these rallies, the very people that are at the rally are the people that are keeping you behind, and we don't address them openly. So we have to be very transparent with ourselves. And this, again, goes back to knowing what you want out of life.
Wow.
Knowing deep down what you truly want. You can't get free unless you know what freedom looks like for you. Yep. My freedom looks different than Kevin's freedom. But we need to be again, we talk about resolutions and those kinds of things, but you have to be resolute in your mind and very crystal clear about what it is you want out of this life. You have to. If you don't get that crystallized in your mind and have a clear vision of what that is, it's very hard to pursue.
Yeah.
You're doing yourself a disservice, you're doing your family a disservice, you're doing your children a disservice, and you're doing your community at large a disservice when you stay fuzzy about the things you want out of life. You can't get free if you don't know what the webs and entanglements look like.
Wow. And just one of the things that helped me get crystal clear about what success, what freedom looks like for me is it may take you some time to actually think about that. It's not going to come, for many people, it's not going to come overnight. For me, it didn't come overnight. It took a while for me to actually write. Like I said, I used to blog. So it took me a while to actually blog and write about what does crystal clear freedom look like for me. And I can give you a few examples in that. One, my body, I want my body to be disease free, functionally fit, able to push, pull, squat, and jump pain free so that I can live and raise my sons and just be an active individual for myself, for my family, for my community, and also for my faith. Yep. So for me to be able to ramble that off, if you just wake me up and shake me out, what does health freedom look like for you, Kevin? For me to ramble that off, it took me a while to sit down and actually think about that. Yeah. So it's going to take some time, but just be encouraged and just know that the availability and access is available to you. Now, one of the points I wanted to jump off to or run into real quick was one strategy for a way to freedom is to have multiple streams of income. Now, we're indoctrinated to say that multiple streams of income is 2 or 3 jobs. Yes. Now that is right. Then you farm out the wife sometimes or the husband, right? And the kids. Yes. Right? So that's one. But there are other ways too. And that you have to determine in your mind how you're going to do this. One way is to be a multiple employee, meaning you have more than one job. Another is to be self-employed, which means you own your job and you can own multiple jobs. I've seen that. And then another one is to be an investor. Learn how to leverage, invest into other instruments, vehicles. Yes, the Henry Ford model that's going to give a return back bigger than what you put in it. And then the fourth one is to be a business or a systems builder, which means you build a machine, a money machine, a system, a wealth producing machine. You wind it up and you throw it out there and let it go, and it does its job forever. I.e., Bill Gates and Microsoft, or Warren Buffett products, Ford, you name it, Rothschilds, Rockefeller, Michael Jackson, Elvis. Yeah.
Everybody with money that you want to be like.
It's a shame that some of these dead guys make more money in a day than I'm making my whole lifetime right now. That's a darn shame, right? Even the guy at Subway, he built a business system of making sandwiches. Leif always says, if a guy can become a millionaire by making a sandwich, we can do something, right? Everybody has the capability.
There's opportunity.
There's opportunity. If a man can make money making a pizza, Papa John's, Domino's, delivering it, there's something that you can do. So multiple streams of income is a strategy that you can that a lot of wealthy people use and that you can use. And then I'm going to go into some specific examples that I know works. That I just don't want to have this discussion, this talk, and not leave something on the table.
One thing I do want to say about the multiple jobs, the issue with having multiple jobs is you're only one person.
Right.
So you really limit yourself in terms of the streams, right? Because all the streams are built upon your back. And when your back goes out, then so does all your streams of revenue. So
that's almost a guarantee.
Yeah, so it's literally you have to diversify your work portfolio, meaning you have to diversify your portfolio beyond just you, because you're really investing only in you in that scenario. Because if you get hurt, then all of your income stops, no matter what the jobs are. So you have to think about that as well, getting outside of yourself and building wealth around your physical attributes.
Yeah, physical attributes. Your physical attributes do become fatigued, and you do break down over time. That's just the way it is. So this is why I see that this conversation is very essential. This is why this is one of the running themes, underlying themes in all of our lives. It affects everybody. Yes. The economy affects everybody. So it may not be, or should not, or hopefully it's not the main focus in your life. But hey, more money gives more opportunity. If you want to be a charity giver, more money enables you to help and be charitable to as many people as you're able to afford. So just a few. I won't go through all of them. I have listed here, but I'll just go through a few. One of them is that the access and availability to get a model, a turnkey business system, is very easy these days. For example, a few years back, I bought a e-booklet off the internet from some dude about window cleaning and started a window cleaning business for like $75, right? This $75 turned into a couple of grand over a summer because I actually read the book and I followed his instructions step by step. And it got to the point to where I had to make some decisions, given some things that was taking place in order to keep pursuing this or not. But it was just so easy to buy a instruction booklet, follow it step by step, and that $75 of investment turned into a couple of grand of return on investment that enabled me to beautify my house and enabled me to make the missus happy. You know, it always feels good to bring home a check and make the Mr. or Mrs. happy when you can say, yeah, I got extra money. Yeah. You know. Yeah.
And I had a similar scenario. Again, we were talking about systems. When I first started doing web design, I wasn't a developer at the time. I've since learned how to do that stuff. But it was like I don't know if you all remember iWeb, right? iWeb was like a simple drag and drop web system where you could build a website. Apple made it. I was able to take this simplistic tool, and I was able to build a business around that tool.
Yep.
And it really all it was, I didn't have to do any code. I just dragged, of course I knew how to design. That's my background. I just designed it and I put it out there, and one site made me multiple thousands of dollars off a simple drag and drop site because, again, it was its own system. Apple since quit supporting that, so I had to move on. But it was one of those things that literally gave me money for years. And it was very simple to do, but again, it was something that I learned, and I was like, you know what, I could utilize this for this, and it worked out in my favor. Not only that, it actually helped me get employment because I used iWeb to build websites to showcase my portfolio, which then helped me get higher jobs and even raises.
Wow, that's amazing. Just learning how to use some of these simple tools. Another one, number 2 that I have down is to learn how to, since become popular now, blog or vlog, meaning that you spend some time either talking into a screen, or you spend some time, what are you, spend some time talking to a screen like we're doing right now, or if you don't want to do that, learn how to screencast. If you don't want to do that, learn how to just use your voice without being seen. There's so many opportunities and ways to do this. I just want to throw a few examples out there to get your juices flowing. And I'm throwing out some things I wish somebody had told me in the beginning, versus me having to spend a lot of time searching these things out. So hopefully what this talk does is create a shortcut for you.
Yeah, and even I love being on Kevin's phone. Even with a blog or a vlog, it's always good to know exactly what you're doing with that, right? You don't just do it just to be doing it, but you need to make sure that you have a purpose. And then in everything you do, you need to have a purpose. Again, I'm looking at Kevin's phone. Anything you do, you need to have a purpose behind it, because just getting on and just rambling like it seems that we do sometimes, we try not to. But again, we have a purpose behind what we're doing, and make sure whatever it is, you have a topic and you have a set reason why you're doing it. Again, this goes back to defining what freedom looks like for you. Defining what it is you're trying to do. Once you get that in your head, get crystal clear about what it is, and then now you can write about that subject. You can talk about that subject, and you can constantly put it out there. And again, knowing what the end goal is, you can start making game plans on how you're going to reach that.
Yep. And if you have any further questions, or just you want to delve into any of this, what we're talking about a little in more detail, just inbox us or leave a comment, or tell us that, hey, talk more about this particular, whatever particular subject or topic you hear us talking about. Just let us know. Now, number 3 is on my little point is affiliate marketing. Just to keep it simple, affiliate marketing, and as simple as you can get it, is referring somebody to a particular product or service that you're happy about, and receiving a percentage, a fee for doing so. We do it all the time. I know I do it. If I see a movie, hey man, did you see that movie? I recommend you go see that movie. No. Now I guarantee you that movie CEO did not send me a check. Now you should get a check. You should get a percentage for referring somebody to a particular product or service that you actually use and you think is added value to your life, and you think will add value to somebody else's life. I know you do it all the time. You may eat somewhere. Hey man, hey sister, you gotta go check this restaurant out. Full of it. Yeah, you gotta check this so and so out. Man, I use it. I love it. I think you'll love it too. The only thing about affiliate marketing is you set yourself up to receive some kind of referral fee or percentage or something, a kickback even, for making a recommendation. Another one is...
I want to go back on that because I always like unpacking it a little bit.
Okay.
In terms of affiliate marketing. I know a lot of people are accustomed to doing like the Amazon affiliate marketing.
Yep.
But again, like you said, you get paid for referrals. So it goes beyond just the things that you can find on the web.
Yep.
If you have a product or something that you're passionate about, you can create your own affiliate marketing campaign, your own affiliate marketing contract. For example, say Kevin here is a window cleaner. He talked about doing window cleaning. And I know that there's a need in a location that Kevin is not currently doing. So I work out a deal with Kevin myself. He doesn't have to have anything set up on the web, anything like that. I'm like, look, Kevin, you do windows. I want 20% of all window referrals that I give you.
Yep. That's the old school way.
That's it.
Still works.
It's just us communicating, and you can do that with any business. Just about if you understand what they're doing and how to actually get them the referrals, you can set it up yourself. They don't have to have a system in place. You can develop that on your own. So this goes back to being afraid to ask questions. This goes back to being afraid to approach people. You have to overcome your fears of communicating with people.
Yeah.
We're two shy guys. However, I know I can speak for myself. When it comes to something that I need, I'm going to ask for it.
Go after it.
Period.
Yep. Yeah. And we may be two shy guys, right? But one of the things I had to force myself to do is to learn how to communicate and to learn how to have real conversations with real people. Before I developed, I used to be the guy to be like, "What'd you say? Speak up. What you mumbling about, boy? Boy can't talk. Does he even talk?"
Yep.
Yeah. But at some point, you have to mature, grow up, and perfect the skills necessary to get along in this world, right? That's just one of the things that we have to do, and the way and the ideas you just brought up is very essential in that there are a lot of people looking for help. Car salesmen, realtors. I run into a lot of contractors. I run into a lot of people all the time to say, hey, I'll give you a kickback if you refer some business gyms,
restaurant. There's all kinds of different Man, it gets endless when you start putting your mind to it, putting your creativity to it, right? There's all kinds of opportunities that are out in the world. If anybody's ever read Rich Dad Poor Dad, he says that that the rich make money, and what he's talking about is you're able to see the world with a different lens. I'm able to turn on my green goggles and look like, man, there's opportunity here, there's opportunity here, there's opportunity here, and you can see money all around you once you decide to open up your eyes, and even you got to work on developing that muscle, right?
Yeah.
Developing the muscle to see where money is around you. It's plenty if we only take the time to do it. Like I said, as long as if a man can make $1 million making sandwiches, I know I can make it in this world.
I can do something.
Exactly. You should have that same mindset to see like, man, there's opportunities all around me. How am I going to take advantage of it?
Thanks. Hey, Tamar, thanks for joining in. Hey, do you have any questions, or would you care to tell us why you're loving this topic right now, Tamar? If you would, just leave a comment or whatever. What was you talking about? Affiliate marketing.
Yeah,
Number four. The number four point, the thing I want to leave off with was to make or sell a particular product. One experience that I personally have with this one is that I love luxury level natural soaps and body butters and essential oils. I'm not your typical guy, and I'm not fruity either. I like that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? I like smell goods. I guess I'm the rare guy that gets into the shower and it's got all kinds of stuff, everywhere. That's just the way it is,
So what does that have to do with the topic?
Well, with the topic is...
You got caught up.
Yeah.
Smelling fruity.
When a particular time I decided to start selling soap, so what I did was I sourced a local soap maker who made natural soaps, and our underlying philosophical views were the same as far as the soap being toxic free, being organic, having meeting some high level standards. And I brought a couple of her stuff in bulk, and also sourced the products online, and checked out some things and vetted some things, and I just slapped my label on it and just started selling it. And I sold personally, and also sold through a website. I'm not rich, but if I would keep honing and cultivating that, it would definitely place me on a pathway to freedom, which is what this is about, pathways to freedom. But it brings in a few dollars, so it's just, that's my particular example that I've personally done and still did.
And even the thing that's good about what Kevin said is he did something that he liked, right? He likes to smell good, so he's like, you know what? Maybe there are other people that like to smell like I like to smell, right? So that's why he got into that particular thing. And I want to throw in another caveat to that as well is get into software. Learn how to develop. Yeah. Right now, we live in a time where you can go to your local library. You don't even have to own a computer. You don't even have to have the internet. All you need to have is not even transportation, just
have the wheel.
Yeah, pat and turn, right? Pat your feet and turn the corner. Get to your local library and get on those computers and learn how to develop code.
Wow.
And the good thing about learning to develop code, going back to this making and selling products, is the fact that if you can make a digital product, you can replicate it infinitely.
Digital scales infinitely.
Exactly. Yeah. So when we're talking about like making a product, and again, that's something that you can do with no money. With no money down, the fact that there's so many resources provided by the government, provided by local libraries, just need to make sure you get there earlier than most people because it stays fat in our city. I don't know how it is in other cities, but it stays crowded in our cities. However, most people get on there just to scroll, just to shop, to spend money or waste time.
Yeah.
But you can take the advantage of that. I know Lamar, we always talk about it. I'm going to put it in the thing, codeacademy.org.
Okay, yeah.
It's one way that you can learn how to, I think it's codeacademy.org. There's one way that you can learn how to program, how to code for free. I mean, the WW3 schools, that's free. If you, like in our local library here, lynda.com, you can learn any kind of software.
Yep.
Again, we're talking about making products. And again, this is a long-term aspect to it. Maybe it's .com. Anyway, it's a long-term aspect to it in terms of just learning, again, what your purpose is. And then if you have a mindset like, man, maybe I want to make turnkey Pokemon digital dolls.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured out how to make that. I learned how to do the code. I learned how to do the artwork, and I can sell it on rotation. Any new customer, I can make money that way. So that was a dumb example, but you get the idea.
Yeah, you get the idea. And I've used Code Academy and lynda.com to learn how to do many things. So the next one is,
again, we're talking about ways to freedom.
Ways to freedom, and we're focusing just on economics and wealth building, in that this topic, economics, hits everybody's life. Whether you want to or not, you have to get up, get out, and do something, whether it's for yourself, whether it's for your family, whether it's for your friends, whether it's for your boss. You got to do something, right? So you want to make sure that you're doing what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it. If you're not doing that, you want to make sure that you are on that path. If that's something that you've made a resolution as far as the new year, that something that you've made a long-term or short-term goal in your life. As far as now, Tamar Sanders says, Lynda is free with the library card. That is so true. And take advantage of that while you can. We don't know how long free lasts in this world, So you better take advantage of it when and however and wherever you can. Because just from personal research, I can tell you that the freedom that we enjoy on the internet right now is definitely under attack or under reconstruction, so to speak. The struggle is always going to be there for systems like this. So that's just the way it is. But
and plus the library is still free.
The library is still free.
That's our comment.
I know, it's still.
Oh man. But anyway, the library is always free. So even if you can't get online, there's always books, right? There's always ways that, again, there's the scriptures say that wisdom crieth in the street, waiting for somebody to lay hold on.
Oh man, yeah.
So there's so much wisdom to be had. There's so much information to be had. There's so much knowledge that you can attain in this life, in this world, at this very present moment. And it's up to you to take hold of it. It's up to you to take advantage of it. It's up to you to, again, focus on what it is you truly want to do. Napoleon Hill calls it definiteness of purpose. So you have to be definite of what your purpose is, and the better you see that vision, the more clear your path will open up to.
Wow. Okay. Number five is one that's blowing up right now. Is drop shipping. Drop shipping, and all that simply is the method or the mode or the model, the business model of making yourself the middleman or middlewoman between a product or service, between the manufacturer and the consumer.
Yep. Arbitrage.
Arbitrage. All that means is if Leif wants a product, I myself go out and source the product at the source and get it for as low of a price as I can. And then I go back and say, hey, Leif, I'll give you this product for this amount right here.
Yeah, put some profit on top. So
there's the profit on top. Yeah. And the advantage to Leif is I can offer the product at a slightly cheaper price. And he might get it in another environment. And then I can source it too. And maybe a different price too, or a cheaper price too. Another thing about that model is you don't have to pay the manufacturer until Leif pays me. So I don't have to pay the manufacturer until Leif pays me. So the only thing I'm responsible for is marketing the product, just letting the world know that this product is out there, and if you want to buy it, and then I get paid for it, and then I pay the manufacturer.
I'll give you a clear example of this. It's a very simplistic one. I went to go see my nephew in Georgia, and while we were there, there was this woman. She was like, they're fidget spinners. I don't even know if they're still popular now.
Yeah, that's
it's like fidget spinners. She's like, I can get fidget spinners at this corner market store for like $1. Right, so she would go buy all the fidget spinners from this market for $1, and then go sell them in another location for $5. So she would.
That's more wholesale.
No, but it's the same thing.
It's the same
because
concept.
she would sell it directly to the consumers. Because the issue was, again, they were popular. She's like, I know where to get them super cheap. It's the same thing with dropship. Like most people use Amazon or Alibaba or something like that. Where you can find it being sold somewhere cheaper, and then it's like, okay, I'll resell this at a slightly higher margin, and that's exactly what she did with the fidget spinners, knowing it's like, okay, this. And it's the same thing about it.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to stress the point that the difference between drop shipping and wholesale is you don't have to have any money for drop shipping.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I just wanted to.
And there's another aspect to it. It doesn't have to be necessarily automated. You can go just the same way that we talked about with the products, the affiliate marketing. You can go directly to the manufacturer and work out these deals.
Yes. And I just want to make that point, stress that point, to kind of overcome that objection that, hey, I don't have any money. It takes money to make money. In certain respects, it does, but then with the access and stuff, the tools and equipment that's available to us now, it necessarily doesn't. I mean, you can set up a free website and list products on there, and don't pay the manufacturer until somebody makes a purchase. So I just wanted to put
another example of this is World's Finest Chocolate. I know just about everybody has had a kid that just sold them the World's Finest Chocolate. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So again, and what that is, it's the same kind of model. You get people to pay you the money first, then you get the shipment, then you drop it off at somebody's house. And it's very, very simplistic example of this. You see it all the time, but you maybe didn't have a word of how it works. So that's exactly how that works. And again, just think about it. You can work out those deals yourself. You don't have to go through the school system. You can go directly to them, work out that deal, like give me an order form, and then go sell it. And you can do that with just about anything in life, really.
Anything in life, and just just getting over the hurdle, the fear of talking to people. And that keeps coming up in this conversation because I know this from experience of getting over the fear of getting on the phone and just pulling somebody to the side. I know that fear of getting in front of a group of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people and just talking. So I know that fear. I've experienced crashing and burning in front of 50 people. It's horrible. It's a ugly, sweaty death that no man or woman should experience.
No, you should experience.
Well, okay, you
should. Forget that.
If you don't have to experience, do whatever you can, learn whatever skills.
Yeah, but because here's the reason why you want to experience that, right? You want to know that you can survive it. And the faster you know that you can survive that, then the more tolerable it becomes. It's like, you know what? It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And most people are afraid to get up. Like he said, palm sweating and all of that kind of stuff.
Oh, it was ugly.
Stuttering and you don't know how to do something. But the more that you can overcome that obstacle, the better off you'll be in the long run. So don't be afraid to go through that. Don't be afraid to go through the embarrassment.
Okay.
Sometimes I purposely put myself in embarrassing situations, especially with my children. I embarrass them a whole lot. But even then, I put myself in situations so they can see that regardless of what it is, of how I look, I'll get up there and I'll do it. I'll try stuff for the first time. I'll volunteer to do stuff. I'll dance in front of people just to get them, seriously, just to make them comfortable
don't
with
ask
being
him
embarrassed.
To dance. Please don't.
Oh, man, I got grooves. Bro.
All he got is robot. That's all he got.
Nah, that's Kevin. I got grooves. I didn't grow up in church. Good. Anyway, Next one. We great
All right, this is the last one for tonight. We're kind of still broad brushing a lot of these topics. If you want more details, tell us.
Yeah. Give us some topics. Like you said, we can get into detail. We can even talk to people one-on-one and address certain issues that they may have getting started, whether it be business, whether it be exercise, whether it be life issues, whether it be a variety of different things. And if we're not experts in it, then we can find somebody that's a subject matter expert.
Yep. If we don't know, we can definitely source and find the answers that you're looking for. It's not that hard, especially with Mr. Google. Mr. Google.
Yeah, and not only that, just network. It's just hard workers and networking, meeting people. There are plenty of people. You'd be surprised at how many experts you have
in your community. Yeah, exactly. The last one I wanted to talk about was print on demand. This is another area that is blowing up and has been blowing up for a while now. Print on demand means that a product does not get made until it has been sold. So printing on demand, I've actually worked in Amazon, and I know their made on demand area. I've seen it to where there are millions of individuals writing books, doing audible books, making movies, you name it, they're making it, and it doesn't get made until that product has sold on Amazon's website or just any other website out there. I know this industry is blowing up right now. So this is something that you may have thought about doing, and it's something that I'm currently thinking about doing and have started doing. Like for instance, one of the things that's blowing up right now with Amazon.com is that their print-on-demand services is just exponentially and will continue to exponentially grow. There's lots of room for growth in every industry and area in this world. So don't be fooled into thinking that an industry or something is saturated or you missed the wave or whatever. It's sandwiches. If somebody can make... Man has been making sandwiches since time immemorial. And tomorrow there's going to be a new sandwich stand that comes up along on your corner, and somebody's going to be making money doing that. So there's a million trillion different ways to freedom. In short, we're going to close it off right now. In short, we just wanted to reiterate, given that today specifically is celebrating a man who is about freedom in all its various forms of capacity, and one of them that he focused on in his life and his legacy is economic freedom. So this is one of the things that we want to focus on as far as our talks and some of the discussions and open forums that we have with you about. One of them being economic freedom, wealth building. Other ones being free in your health and wellness and well-being, quality of life, longevity. Another one being your education, self-educating career, and another one being, every way, shape, or form that we can help you as we grow and we learn and we cultivate ways of becoming more freer, more liberated, more sentient human beings dwelling in this matrix, dwelling on the outside of the matrix of the design to grind program. This is what we're about, just pushing, propagandizing, promoting opportunities of positivity, passion, and hey, we can go to other ones too. I got plenty of them.
And also just one of the philosophies and models that we live by is freely receive, freely give. Just those kinds of just the information, just the pathways that we've gone. We just want to make it as simple as possible for the next person to follow.
Yep.
So that's why we're doing this. We're doing this out of love. And I always say this in every video I do. I'm doing this to build capacity. I'm doing this to build community. And I'm doing this to build love with one another. So that's the reason why we do this. We want to make sure that we can spread that love and that we can be loving to the people that we come into contact with, and that they can share that same love with somebody else. What did that say?
Fernadim says, thanks for the ideas, gentlemen. Wish I heard from the beginning, but we'll play back. Yes, please definitely play it back.
I appreciate it.
And appreciate you both and your family and your humility. Thank you, and we appreciate it. We
Sure,
appreciate you investing time with us. We don't take your time, your attention, we don't take that lightly. We don't take it for granted because you only get a finite amount of it in this plane of existence. So the attention that you give us, hopefully what we give back is more than what you lend to us. That's the only reason we exist. After one of the things we often think about is once you get all the things you want and desire in life, what's left?
Yep.
Life becomes empty. So you have to have a passion, a purpose. Going back to the why, you have to have a why. And the why to give and to share is the underlying thing. I mean, there's nothing more for me. For us. There's nothing more fun than just getting on here and just talking and espousing a lot of things that we
just
take
enriching
in.
people's lives. That's truly what
Enriching
life is all
people's
about.
lives.
Period.
Somebody's enriched my life. I'm standing on the shoulders of others. So this is our way of paying it forward. So thanks for joining us. We're going to be signing off.
Peace out.
Peace out.